right, everybody. Is everybody in? Is everybody here? No, 3 people are here. But that's the beginning. Need to fix my hair, get my hat all right, get looking all ready for live. Nah, screw it, man. It'll work. How you doing, Monica? Bill? A couple other people showing up now. Right on, right on, right on. 2 thumbs up, man. Hey, look at me. My popularity. You know what? Today I kind of wanted to discuss my suspect. Get some ideas flowing here from you guys. You're where I turn to. Myself, I don't go to other people's videos. I turn directly to YouTube to ask questions. That's how I operate. So, hopefully we can get a few things going here in just a moment. Just letting people get in, get situated. 18 people, man. All right, 18. You know what? That's I'm gonna say 20 is gonna start it. Can we get 20? 20th person. That's all I'm needing here. There we go. 20. Begins now. All right, everyone. It kind of works like this. I'm doing a live show, but there are some things that I can do and things that I cannot do. One, I can't mention people's name. So I will not be referring to my suspect by his name. So what I need, if you know my suspect, is a good name for him in place of his real name. If you can give me that, that would be outstanding. Who's your mama? You know what? Actually, mine was Phyllis. That's who my mama was. So, anyways, I would like to cover some areas because I'm making a video where I discuss all the details that I have on my suspect. But the thing is in this case, there is criteria that a person must fit factually in order to be a suspect. So my guy up to right now, I have seen fits at 100%. 100%. You know what? Daniel Nations didn't fit like that because I couldn't place Daniel Nations in Delphi. I couldn't say he was in Delphi. I didn't think he looked like Bridge Guy, but I certainly thought that he had the mentality to be that guy. And I thought if he was up here, oh man, I just said his name, didn't I? Well, that's it. Sorry, I got to restart. No. So anyhow, so it comes to my suspect. Now again, my suspect to me fits at 100%. You know who my suspect is? Lay it on me. Oh, Liverpool. Liverpool. No doubt. Wow. Man, from Liverpool. Holy cow, man. It's like Beatles, everyone. The Beatles, Liverpool. I never said that, Monica. That's right, where the Beatles are from. The greatest band in the history of humanity. The Beatles, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, really? You know what? If you could give me pictures of that, that'd be really cool, I'd like to see Paul McCartney's house. Oh, thank you very much, Mimi. Thank you. So does anybody have any questions on my suspect? Because, I think that there, when I make a video, I get a lot of feedback in the comments of, well, how do you explain this? How do you explain that? And my first thought is always this. Haven't I in about 10 different videos? Didn't you watch them? Didn't you watch my videos? I got a older video right now. I think it is called The Delphi Murders, The Continuing Saga, which is going somewhat viral. A lot of people are watching that older video. And a lot of people are subscribing from watching it. And then they ask me questions regarding that old video. And I got to tell all of them, watch my newest videos. Get caught up to date on where I'm at. Because I'm not 9 months ago now. I'm back up here where I should be, I think. Oh, let me see. Yes, I do. But you know what? I can only say that for one reason. Evansdale. I know that he did Evansdale in the same way as Delphi because the MO is exact. Exact. 100%. Driving down the highway, exit off to a small trail, 2 girls abducted, 2 girls died, 2 girls found by a creek dead. Now, that's identical MO. Now, when you look at the date, 7/13/12, and reverse that to 2/13/17, I don't know where you want to go with that. I have no. I mean, we don't know the MO. Little Queen, I think you need to check yourself. We do know an MO. We do know the guy stopped in Delphi, right there at the trail, was hiking. 2 girls abducted, 2 girls died, 2 girls found. What about the DNA? I don't have the DNA. You guys realize I don't have the DNA, right? I don't have it. You can ask me about the DNA all day long. I'll tell you to call Sheriff Lesenby. He knows about the DNA. I don't. I don't know about the DNA. I know they say they got DNA. I know the FBI went down to St. Louis and got my suspect's DNA. I know that Sheriff Lesenby sent their DNA out to Quantico FBI headquarters right before Christmas of 2018. I know that. The age. Well, you see, you know what? Let me get back on this age thing because now it's 18 to 40. Said who? Who said it was 18 to 40? You got 2 people that seen the guy and they don't know if he was 18 or 40. But we're to trust what they think his face looks like. But they don't know if his face was 18-ish or 40-ish. I don't know, man. Yes, it is. Thank you, Stu. Thanks. Yes, I do. I feel that local law enforcement, and I am speaking locally, as well as FBI, knows what's going on. And I say that for this reason. When my suspect was arrested for the crime that he is in jail for currently, the FBI went in like immediately. I think it was day 2 or 3 that he was in jail and got his DNA because they felt that he was involved in other cases. Now, after getting that DNA, I know that Delphi sent their DNA to Quantico. Now, after that crime, because of the way that my suspect was dressed and the way that he looked like the first sketch, they got a hold of Delphi. You know, they reached Delphi and said, look, man, we got a guy here. This guy has never committed a crime before, firstly. And that's a prerequisite. That's in the criteria. The person never had to have committed a crime before. 2, he was dressed like Bridge Guy when committing this crime. And 3, he looks a lot like the sketch. Well, they sent a mugshot to Delphi. Now, if I'm Carroll County Sheriff, the first thing I'm going to do with that mugshot is take it to the eyewitnesses that seen him. Is this the man that you've seen there that day? That's how I would do it. Now, I know that Sheriff Lesenby knows what I do. I know he knows exactly what I do, plus more. So it comes down to me as, why are they mudding it up for the public? Why are they saying things that they know are factually untrue to the public? And that is where I am now. Because when it does come out, and it will come out, is exactly who did it in due time. I think that their reason for this is going to be this right here. Hear me now. They're going to say, we had over 36,000 tips turned in that we had to follow and investigate in an order. He was way down that list, and we couldn't talk to him at that time. So we didn't know. We was just following what the people had told us, because I don't know why else they would do that. Now, my reason why they're not filing the charges is this. The FBI, they was in Delphi on day 1. Before the girls were found, the FBI was in Delphi. At that time, it was 2 missing girls that had not been missing 24 hours. Why were they there? I think that they were there because this fit the profile of other unsolved cases that they were working on. I can at least state Evansdale as being one of them. It was the same MO. It was the same thing that had happened. 2 girls missing on a small trail off a highway. We've seen this before, so they were there before the girls were found. Then the girls were found. Foul play. Well, the FBI had a serious interest in the investigation at that time, because then they said, now this does fit the same MO of other unsolved crimes. Other crimes that we have DNA in, and it does not match in the codex, meaning this guy had never committed a crime. He had no DNA or fingerprints in the codex system. We can match them together here, but not from a source. So when they got my suspect down there, they knew they had their source. But he is involved in more than just Delphi. I can say Evansdale and those two. Those two I am aware of. Those two he did. But outside of that, there's more. I mean, I don't know what else he's done. I mean, I can't tell you outside of that, but I can place everything in an exactitude. Between Delphi and Evansdale. I think somebody said copycat earlier. Yeah, you know what? There's, copycats happen, but that's more rare. And I'm not really looking at Delphi as a copycat from somebody that lived there. I think that that's really seeking outside of where it lies. You know what? I'm totally missing questions. Luke, I really don't check other people's videos. If you got something that you want to reach me with, you can reach me at mrcat420@gmail.com. That's MRKATT420@gmail.com. Screw it, I'll type it. I'll type it in down there in chat. And if you want to reach me, you can reach me right there. Okay, no. There we go. I normally never take interest in other body's theories. If you got a theory, I probably have no regard for it. Thank you very much, Judy. But if you have anything that you would like to share. Also, I would like to bring up another point, a dynamic point. This is going in my video, but I am going to state it here. We have one video, well, 2, depending on how you want to look at it, of Thomas Bruce. Okay? The one is at the traffic stop. Now, I can show where he's walking there, but he steps away from the officer backwards. But then he steps back forwards again. But in that video, at that time, when he's talking to the trooper, and when he steps back, and then when he steps forward, his hands are in his pockets the whole time. Look at Bridge Guy in the video. Where's his hands? They're in his pockets. Now, in Delphi, he was fixing to have a stressful situation. He was walking up to it, and he knew that. Hands in his pockets. At the traffic stop, he was in a stressful situation. Hands in his pockets. It's up here. And I haven't yet heard anybody that sounded as close as my suspect to the Delphi audio. He's got a very similar sound to his voice. Very. In fact, both of them were taken at a distance with crappy audio. 2 different audio. But it's the closest that I've found. I can't compare them in the way that the FBI can. I can't do it like that. I don't have the tools. I don't have the technology. I don't know what I'm doing like that. But I can listen. And when I listen, I say, yeah, it sounds pretty close. It sounds pretty close, people. You know what? It's going to be a while. But I say it's going to be a while for this. My suspect doesn't have the next court date set. I don't know why. I wanted him to go to court because next time he goes to court, here's the thing. his hair is going to be grown out. It's going to be grown out like it was then in Delphi. That's what I want to see. Because last time he went, his hair was gray, but right here on the side, you can see it was a darker color. Now, next time he goes to court, it's going to be grown out. You'll see it at about its full length. So, you know what? But on the flip side, his facial hair will also have grown because they're not going to give that guy a razor. In fact, that's probably why he's the... Oh, hey, Mystery Baker. Thank you very much. I think that's 6 pounds. I'm not sure where that's from. I got one like that one time. It's from New Zealand. If you want to say where you're from there. So I think the next time he goes back to court, he's going to be bearded, but we're going to see his hair in the right way. So, oh, England. All right, man. Hey, thank you. You know what? I've got a lot of people now viewing from England, and I love that, man. England. And Ireland and Scotland. I thought, England and Scotland, man, you guys should just be one country of sorts. I don't know. I mean, but that's me. I don't know the thing there. You know what? Another thing, and I bring this up, but I only bring it up for this reason. Because, look, the one thing that I don't want to do is muddle the case up for law enforcement. I mean, there is nothing that I would tell the public in a video if I thought that it would mess that case up in any way. In any way. Wouldn't do that. But we were never given a cause of death for the two girls. Okay? We never were. Now, I had kind of speculated at the beginning of what I thought it probably was, given what I knew. But the other day, a reporter had said something, and I think that she misspoke on the cause of death because she said it really quickly, and a person on Facebook got it. You know what? I'm not sure who did that, but they got a hold of me and said, listen to this at 50 seconds in and see if you hear what I heard. And I said, yeah, I did. I did hear them say that. But I think that person had misspoke because the media does not know the cause of death. It's never been released. I mean, if it was going to be released to anybody, other law enforcement, but not to media. Okay, because they want that cause of death, it's secret. Because if somebody comes in to confess and they don't know the means of death, or if they're guessing on the means of death, law enforcement will know that, like right away. They can't go in and claim they did it, and not be following what they know to be true. You see where I'm at? So if anybody had heard that, I mean, it was her just speaking, but I think it was more of a misspeak because it wouldn't have been given to her to say like that. Believe me, it wouldn't have. Chat stopped. Oh, here we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, right. Man, everybody keeps agreeing Stu. I don't know what Stu up there is saying. Yeah, exactly. Hey, great. That's exactly right. It doesn't. There's nothing there. There could be. I mean, there could be, but the thing is it's not going to give you who the killer is by knowing the means of death. Is how they did it, but it doesn't. Publicly, and again, that's why they don't publicly announce that. You heard it from New Jersey? Yeah, I knew, Gray. I'm fluent in typoes. No, we don't. We do not need all video and audio. That's not really going to help. I think that the only thing in the video was that little snippet of him walking. And that is what I assumed it would be, was him taking that little step and a half like that, right there. Because that's all they gave us was the 3 stills out of that. So you have to assume that was it. But, kind of asked for that from, it must be over 2 years ago. Well, right at about 2 years ago, it's about this time. And he's like, well, maybe if, what we got, doesn't pan out, we may give that in due time. But 2 years later, man, it seemed a little late. I myself, I would have probably gave it out by after year one, something like that. Well, here is the reason. Look, here's the reason on not filing murder charges on my suspect. Let's say they did. They have the evidence, and they say, okay, we're going to go ahead and file charges on it. So they file charges, they get a press conference. Well, the people that come in are going to say, well, what did he claim? Well, what did he say? Well, what was, the thing is they would be answering by never talking to him. I mean, he would just catch wind that he was like having charges filed on him, because they will have to bring him back up here. Now, we got a Carroll County lawyer. This isn't like New York, man. This isn't LA. This isn't Indianapolis. This guy's never seen a murder case. He's never prosecuted one. So now this is going to be his first one, and when that guy gets here, it's going to be world news. It's going to be international news. They want to talk to that guy. They want to get what he knows, what he's going to confess to. They want all of that in a line before they charge him. Now, I can understand that. And I can understand, like, not saying anything, nothing, just disregarding it all, until at which time you can speak to him. What I don't understand is playing the public like they did at this briefing. That was out of line. I seen no use in it. Unless, maybe, I mean, I know Leslie knows what I do, but maybe they just have not got to the investigation of him yet. And they're still relying on the older news of 2 years ago that maybe the guy's 18, maybe he's 40. But law enforcement did say at that briefing that the guy may look younger than what he really is, which is good, because my suspect older than 40. Anything else? Yeah. Okay. Right. The hands. And that does play well, because look, this guy's walking across the bridge. It's a warmish day. He's got a hoodie and a jacket on, and he's got his hands in his pockets, and that does kind of play more psychological, man. I mean, there's things you do. You fill with your hand, when you're facing stress. And a lot of times, like law enforcement, when they pull you over, will watch your hands to see what you're doing, to see kind of where you're at mentally. So it is something to kind of view. If you have not watched the traffic stop with my suspect in it, please do. And watch when he's telling the officer, he says, well, where do you want me to stand, when he backs away? And then he says, stand right over here, and he steps forward. Watching that whole time, hands right in his pockets. Yes, the brown item on his right-hand side, exactly. I knew the handguns that he had from the bankruptcy. He had a Glock 43, a Sig Sauer, and a 22 caliber pistol. Well, the Sig and the Glock, I could go look up brown holsters for, and found some quite matching what's hanging down there. And again, you can tell it isn't a fabric where it floats back down after he stepped. It more boom and back down to his leg, like it's a harder, more solid item right there. So I am thinking it was probably a Glock holster. And also in the video, when he's taking that step and it pulls up, you can kind of see the handle of the pistol right there toward the top, between that brown item and his blue jacket. Look for it. Who's saying totally different crimes? It is. It is. And if you look up those holsters, you will see why. Go look them up, man. Look up a brown holster. Go to Google. Put in brown Glock 43. Put in brown holster for a Sig Sauer handgun. And go right down the images. Go to images, scan down through them. You'll see why. It comes down like this, braces across. It's exactly, I think, what we are looking at. Hey, Mystery Baker. It's right up the road from me. My dad lives 2 miles from the crime scene, up County Road 200, not 300. It's the next one south of them. And I lived there for so many years right there. I traveled that road many times. And I didn't even know that Monon High Bridge Trail was there. I didn't know. I remember back when it was railroad tracks and the train would cross in the late 80s. But I didn't know if that over on the other side was ever made into a trail. And aside of that, until this crime occurred, I had never been on County Road 300. I mean, you got to go out and then back around to hit County Road 300. It may connect. No. Yeah, it'd have to. It would have to connect somewhere off of County Road 200. Anyway, man, I am digressing all over the place. Not where I wanted to go with this. But I did have some more information. Wait, yeah, and back to that. And that's why. Before this happened, I had a different channel. And most people that are here probably remember my other channel. And basically what I did was I covered world news on that. And I had like 8,600 subscribers. It was a pretty big channel. It was making money go back some years ago. And when Delphi happened, it was just so odd because Delphi's got a population of 3,500. Well, man, there's been 36,000 tips phoned in. 36,000. Delphi, a population of 3,500. You see where I'm at? That's a big, big, big difference. And there's never been anything like that happened here. Not even in a tri-county area, I don't think. No crime that ever went to that. And the guy was not caught. Yeah, I'm putting my mind on that because I've been all over the place on it. You know, I was where law enforcement now is, that the guy had to have been from in and around Delphi. I mean, check my video. I think it was called The Suspect's Escape Route, where I'm talking. If the guy didn't have a car, if the suspect did not have a car, and that's exactly how I start that video. If he did not have a car, the only way he could have got in and out was to walk from Delphi into the trail and back into Delphi. You see where I'm at? You just walk to the trail, go down the trail like that, walk back out the trail to reach the railroad track, take it right back into the residential area of Delphi. Nobody seen him. Because other than that, the guy would have had to been out on the highway. He would have been walking down a county road. He would have been walking in an area where people seen him. Nobody did. So the thing was, if the guy had no car, he lived in Delphi. Now, they're telling us about a car. No make, no model. There's a vehicle parked there. From 12 to 5. From 12 to 5, more than one person seen that vehicle. Nobody's got a color. Nobody has a make or model. It's just a vehicle. I don't know, man. I think after a couple of years, things start getting foggy. You know, things starts getting foggy up here. And now they got this, they're muddling it up to me. But I'm looking into this. Understand, they may not be looking into my suspect at this time. They may not have looked into him. And when they do, they're going to tell you identically what I'm telling you now about it. Identically. It's him, people. Carnation, how you doing? Hey, getting a lot of comments. Yeah, exactly, Monica. He's not young. Chris Peters, man, I know I had said this to you before. We wasn't in basic training, right? Fantastic, though. It is. And again, you know what? Look at the traffic stop. Look at how he holds his body. Look at how he does that with his hands in his pockets. Same frame. Identical frame. Identical frame. There's a reason for that. He was a suspect back then. He still is now. And one thing that law enforcement doesn't have to worry about is this. The man's behind bars. They know that. And Kim Riley told me that. You know, he's behind bars. And it might be a while. They can't go talk to him right now. I want you to know that. And it's for this reason. If you are in a jail, as he is, and you are facing a crime, which he is, and he is facing life without parole, and you got a public defender, and you're from another state, and you're going to go down there and try to talk to him about a different crime, Then what he's down there for? Not under my watch. They'll stop you at the door, same as they did with Daniel Nations. They went out to Colorado and they said, "Yeah, you ain't doing anything of the sort. Leave." And that was that. Daniel Nations told me that on the phone. You know, he said they came to talk to me. My public defender turned him away. I didn't want him to, of course. I wanted to talk to him and give him my DNA. That's why he told me. Well, you know what? There's a lot of people with doubts about Thomas Bruce. A lot of doubt out there, but I think that a lot of that comes from Facebook, in my opinion. I don't think so, Greg. I mean, I don't know whether you watched my video where I show his brother lives there in Fort Wayne, Indiana. If not, go check that video out. And look at Evansdale. There's this one. I wish that I had green screen here available. I don't. But there is something, and it's on Evansdale murders, where the FBI did a profile on that suspect. They said at this time, the person may have been experiencing like hard financial issues. Well, I can't say that at that time what financial issues he was having, but I know at Delphi he was having bad financial issues. And I said in the video at that time, if I knew a family member that lived up here in Upper Indiana or Michigan, I could place him to go to in Delphi, why he might be here. And I found a brother living in Fort Wayne. So I put in Imperial, Missouri. That was his place of residence, to Fort Wayne, Indiana on Google Directions. And it gave me two routes. One was I-70. The second was the Hoosier Heartland route. The Hoosier Heartland route goes right by Monon High Bridge Trail. It's Highway 25 right there. And I think that that's the route he always took to his brothers. I think it was his general stopping point at Monon High Bridge Trail. So that's how I knew the trails. And decided that he was there that day. It was pre-planned. It was the reverse of Evansdale. He already knew what he was going to do. That's why he was there for that long. He was waiting. He was waiting for the opportunity to arise. I got 89 people here and 25 thumbs up. Leave? Just leave? Just kill it? Nah, people won't do that. People, there it goes. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for the thumbs up, man. I seriously appreciate it the most. Oh, well, thank you very much, Mystery Baker. If you got a question, man, throw it up here. I'll get right to it. I think that that's the whole point of Super Chat. You know, when people do that, it outlines your question and puts it right up there to the top where everybody can see it. So if you got a question, please throw it up. Well, again, Chicken Little, it's kind of like this. I wasn't convinced. In fact, I'll go back some months ago, and it was on my older channel. I made a video, and it was live, where we was sitting here and we was talking about the chance that Evansdale and Delphi were connected by the same suspect. Now, in that, law enforcement had said that there are a lot of similarities between the two. They pointed that out. But they said, we don't feel at this time that it's the same suspect. It may be, but we don't feel that it is. So once I got to the point where I felt I was pretty confident because everything checked out on my suspect, on the route, everything. I thought, okay, now I'm looking over here at Evansdale. The same exact applied. The person pulled off of a highway on exit 70 to a small nature trail, seen two bikes, got out of his vehicle, started walking up the trail, was hiking the trail, found the two girls, got him back to his vehicle and in it. They know that he was on that trail because they found the girl's cell phone and a cell phone and a purse, something like that, of theirs on a bench that was on that trail. So we found him on the trail and got him back there, abducted him, and then their bodies were found 6 months later by a creek. Now, in Delphi, the same kind of applies. You're right there. The guy had a car, pulled off the highway to a small trail. 2 girls end up missing. 2 girls end up found, dead. So it's an identical right there. Now, for Delphi, I can say his brother that lives in Fort Wayne. You know, he was having hardship. He had just filed bankruptcy, okay? He lost his house and one of their vehicles and had resigned from his job shortly thereafter. That was in January of 2017 or at the very beginning of February 2017. He would go talk to a brother about money, possible short-term housing, maybe a job. That's who you turn to at that time. Aside of that, having a bad financial issue like that is a prerequisite in a lot of killings like this. I mean, and that's why the FBI always says that. They were having bad financial issues or a hard time at home with the spouse, because it's one of those things that they've seen many times occur. So I did the same. Now I thought, okay, he lives right here in St. Louis. Where would he be going north? So I'm looking at Google Maps right there. And I'm looking at the big map. And I'm looking at like states here. So, okay, here's St. Louis. What's north? Well, the only city directly north right there was Minneapolis that I could tell. So I put in from Imperial to Minneapolis, Google directions. Right up 380, right by exit 70, Evansdale. Bam. And that's how I said, same date, reversible, same MO, same pattern, same applied. He was going north. Here, I think he was going to Fort Wayne, although he could have been coming back. I mean, it was on a Monday. So I don't know if he was on his way back from his brother's or going there. I mean, I can't answer that. Yeah, I'm really bright, but I'm not a psychic. I don't know what was the different year. If it was Evansdale, yeah, it was 5 years. It was 5 years prior to Delphi. And, 5 years, I don't know, man. That really makes me think there was probably others, maybe. I mean, it seems a very long engagement to make 5 years, But if it was 5 years, if it was preset for 5 years, if it was predated for that day, and it took an inner motive, if you see where I'm at. I think that the outer motive, criminally, was sexual. But that inner motive, man, there was a reason for all this. Friday the 13th, there's just too many similarities not to draw a connection there. It really is. And you know what? I called the lead detective there in Evansdale. I called the tip line, but I was talking for so long, Blaze, like, you know what, sir, you've really been at this a long time. Normally people just call up and give us a name, and that's what we do. We jot the name down. So she wanted me to call the head investigator there in Evansdale. So she called him, got the number, told me he was out doing something at that time and to call him later. So what I did was I found his email, I sent him an email and told him to email me when he had time where he could talk. Now, I think that was on a Friday because that following Monday morning, I got the email from him. So I called, told him what I knew. And, I told him because they're looking for, now that crime occurred in 2012. And at that time, the people that seen the car that was parked there said it was an older style boxy white Ford Bronco type vehicle. So I told him, if you can go through the DMV there in Missouri and find out the vehicle that he owned at that time, and at that time, because at that time he was living at Lacklink Drive there in St. Louis. I said, you will find that's the vehicle he owned. That was one of them that he owned. I am that confident that they are the same guy, one and both. If you're looking at statistics, and I have studied probability in my life, there's a lot of connections right there, people. And I don't think it's accidental. I think that they line up purposely because it's the same guy, identical. 43 thumbs up. Yeah, it's almost my record. Wait, I don't even know what my record is. I think it's over 100. Man, I know it's over 100. I don't know where at. But man, we could get this over 100. Holy cow. You know what I'd do? I'd start doing it live like all the time, every day. See, and now, chat died. Okay, so let me bring up a new talking point on my suspect. Drinking. Prior to the Catholic supply store, sexual assault, and homicide, he was 2 doors down at a nightclub. Now, being that he was at that nightclub for a time because he was talking to a waitress and other people, I can speculate, because the traffic stop, knowing he was drunk there, that he was drinking at that time. Now, that's right before he went and committed this homicide. Okay? Now, at the traffic stop, we know he was drunk. Now, if you look at serial killers, especially men that kill women, there's usually that drinking that occurs. They usually drink. And they drink for one reason. After the first one, because they was normally drunk when it occurred, is to live with what they've done. 2, it kind of releases that shame and all that guilt off of them for a while. But 3, it can also bring it right back. Ted Bundy drink, Jeffrey Dahmer drink, and Kilmer drink. A lot of the men that went out and killed like that, I'm saying, generally drink for that reason. And I think the same applies with my suspect. He was drunk on those 2 occasions, and I think on those other 2 occasions of Evansdale and Delphi, the same applies. He was drinking. Now, if I can call that brown item a holster with a pistol in it, he's got a big bulge right here in his jacket. Now, I know that when he was there, when that crime occurred, provided it's my suspect, he was drinking. And I feel that right there could be a bottle that he was drinking from while he was out there waiting. Think as you like, but guess what? When it all comes out, you know what would be really cool? I would love to have somebody on here that's like, dude, you know what? I was thinking the identical, man. Identical. It's like we're on the same exact page. Because all I have ever caught is slack from this. And I'm telling you, I'm in a knowing that this guy is it. There's one thing that I cannot say. I cannot see his face clear enough in those photos or that video to say, that's him. That's my man. That's totally him. I mean, I can see it some, but not clearly. With Daniel Nation, I couldn't. I could say, muddied up, man. You can't see anything. I mean, that was all I had to stand on that. It's like, you really can't see who it is. But if I had that, I mean, if I could clearly see him, it would make a difference, but it would to all of us. You just can't see that man's face. But now we're told 18 to 40. Let me tell you something. This is me. This is me telling you. If that suspect was from around Delphi, from around the area of Delphi, or worked in Delphi, he would have been caught ages ago. 36,000 tips. None of them are correct. I want you to think about this. None of them are correct because people are looking local. People are guessing local. People are turning cops in. People are turning people in on Facebook and YouTube. People are idiots. I don't know, man. People bother me. I don't think that people have the time of day in their mind. But why didn't he take the phone? I don't know that he knew that she had a phone. I mean, he may have known that she had a phone. Maybe he's seen her, with the phone when she was walking by, something along that line. But I don't think that he knew that she had it on video record. And having it on video record, I am pretty certain at that time she would have stuck it in her pocket, and I just don't think he's seen it. But he probably didn't believe that she had put it on video record. Also, another topic here. When he's taking that step and a half, on that last step, watch his right foot. It swings over the front of his left foot. It's like he's turning right there to face toward Libby. And watch it, because it's that last little with his right foot. It swings back over like that, where he's like turning, and you look at his face, he's starting to turn that direction. And that might be why they stopped the video there, because that might have been when he started walking over to talk to him. Man, did chat just stop? Because, man, what is it? Only just go for a minute or something? Stu, what is your effing problem, huh, buddy? Because if you are here just to cause problem, you're going to be banned. I'm not tolerant. I'm really not. I tolerate none of that. If you are here to watch my video, fine. If you are here to be a douchebag and thaw, you're gone. Not putting up with it. Yeah, right, yes. Exactly, Gray. And because it does look like right there he is. And I mean, you can definitely tell that in the video. Well, I say definitely, but I mean, if it ain't, it's kind of a glitch that makes it look like his foot swinging back over that way. But it's the way it appears. Well, at some time he did. You know, but I mean, at that time, I mean, he was kind of a distance, but I mean, it's still. How could it cut out a girl in the foreground? I didn't know that there was a foreground, a girl in the foreground. Yeah. You know, there isn't, right there where he was at, there's not any big gaps where he was at. In fact, it's like when you start on the north side going across, there's some areas where it's like this wide and you look down, it's like way down. But as you start getting over to that south side, man, they start getting a little bit closer where you don't have to be as super watchful. But yeah, you wouldn't want to step in a big gap. That would kind of end the day. There we go. Yeah, it's about in 60 feet area right there. Yeah. You know what? See, and again, I could speculate all day on what he had in his jacket. You know, there's only one thing that I could really, you know, and that would be alcohol, because I'm pretty sure that if it's my guy, he had alcohol with him. He is not past that 6 platform right there, Gray. Because it's the side of where he was, on the right-hand side. You will need to go look at that. I walked the bridge. You did all the tests. I've been there. I mean, you know, you can test all you want, but I mean, I've been there. I walked it. I got video. I mean, I know where the guy was at. You can clearly see from your videos where he's at. We didn't do what test? We know where he was at. And where he was at on that track, on that bridge, I can clearly say, okay, he's right here. Here's the circuitry. Here's this. Yeah, it's all lined up right. Well, down here, 6. I've been there. In fact, from 6 is where I got the pictures of it where he was walking at. I will have to go look at that because Gray is maintaining on it. However, what's incorrect? Well, see, and again, you could hear he used that. And again, it doesn't tell us anything about the guy. Yeah. I can place exactly where he was, and there is a platform to the south of that. There definitely is a platform to the south of that. Oh, we covered that, Carnations. They don't want the cause of death known because people could falsely confess, and they go, well, he must have did it. You don't want that. You don't want people falsely confessing. Oh, yeah, see, no, okay. Yeah, I ain't on that angle. Yeah, I talked to Greeno about that one time. Yeah, I ain't there with you. On that point, nah. If she was at the end of that bridge at 60 feet away, really, I think you need to go to that bridge, Gray. Yeah, and I knew who he is talking about. You need to go there and kind of look at it, because if you can get like that video from right there with the cell phone, it ain't. He clearly faces toward her, and I can show you that she was on that platform because that's where he was facing right toward. Her and Abby was probably right there on that platform when she was videoing. But he isn't past that platform. Law enforcement would never say that about me. But I did like your videos on that, Gray. And how did they know she was off the bridge, Gray? Let me explain that. Did they call and tell them that? Oh, hey, we're off the south side of the bridge. No, they didn't. The only thing they have to go on is the same thing that we're going on. They did not watch the video. Did you not watch the briefing the other day? They said this is the first time the family has seen this, was this morning. Yeah, they didn't even see him taking a step. That's what law enforcement said. I'm telling you what law enforcement said. They just seen it. Yeah, well, you know what? You need to call law enforcement. You know law enforcement won't lie, Gray. Well, they just wouldn't do that. What do you mean, remember, Michael, law enforcement has the entire video? Who in the hell do you think you're talking to? Well, I didn't know law enforcement had no whole video. I thought they just got a piece of it. I thought the killer mailed it to them. 40-minute video. That'd be a while for the phone to last. But you know what? They had just got out there. You know, not that long before that. So I mean, it could have went that long. In fact, one time, went out there and I started where the girls were dropped off at, and I walked very slow, very casual pace, down to the railroad bridge, stopped, started crossing it, got to where Libby had taken that picture of Abby, right there. I was 8 minutes quicker than they were. 8 minutes. Now, they could have stopped. They could have been taking photos, but there was an 8-minute delay. 8 minutes. 8. You know, that's a little delay. So I think that there was something that held them up. If it was somebody talking to them, or if it was taking pictures, what have you, it was something. And, you know, if the guy had said something to him, anything, prior to him crossing that bridge, that may have tipped him off, because, hey, here comes that guy, you know, and he's coming across. I don't know how long, Brandy. But yeah, her the day that she died is the day after Libby's. They got hers on the 14th rather than the 13th because she had died the following morning. But but that goes back to the cause of death because you had the search party out there that night, and it seems very likely to me that a person who was conscious could have responded to that search party. So that tells me that she was knocked unconscious, but I mean, look, if she was cut or something like that, that would seem a little bit different to live that long. Yeah, you know what? I couldn't really hear that, and I kind of wondered about why they added that to the audio. It seemed it wasn't the kind of audio that I wanted. I mean, it was like off his normal tone. You had a lot of static in there, and I thought that was a little, But the video I liked because you can see a lot more in the video than you can in the pictures. You can clearly see how he's walking. So I like the video. And again, I believe Holster on that. That's what it appears to me. And if you look, like right here where his pants is, where that brown item is, he's got his hand in his pocket here, but his coat, it's not just that it's hanging down, the coat is pulled up over right there to the top of that holster. And when he walks, when that kind of stretches up a little bit, you can see that dark item right there, which I assume is the handle of the pistol in the holster right there. And it looks more Glock 43 brown holster. Lil Queen, I'm going to say this to you. I was there. I was there. Many times over, I was there. Now, you can talk about his evidence all day long. I can stand on that platform and look at where that guy was at. That's called evidence. And I don't know what he's doing up there. I don't care. I don't give a crap. I don't. I can tell you I've been there, and I know what I'm talking about. Thank you. Well, you know what? I think that anything thereafter was aggressive by the suspect. They wouldn't want to release that. It's just probably more important that we can hear his voice, hear how it sounds. Yeah, and so was I, Gray. I mean, look, man, I could argue with you all day long. I've been there, buddy. I've been there. You say, hey, somebody else was there that knows that bridge better than you. No, they don't. They don't. I know where the guy was at. It's clear. It's perfectly clear. And yet there's a platform to the south. A little odd, right? Just a little bit odd there, buddy. Okay? You guys were on the phone live. And what? Now you're going to tell me that there's not a platform south of where he was at. Right? Say it. Say it. I want it. I want to hear it. I want that. I want that on my resume. Tell me that, Greg. Tell me there was no platform south of where that picture was taken at. Do it. And that's why you were guesstimating she was on the end of the bridge. Because there is that platform there. I've stood on it. I got pictures of it. That's where I get my video from. Yeah, well, yeah, go watch these videos, sure, but that's a minute ago you said there was no that he was past the last platform, correct? That is exactly what I recall you saying. He was past that last spot. No, it isn't up and away. Okay. Yes, there was. And that is where I disagree. I totally do. I know where he was standing. I have stood on that platform, and that platform is every bit of 40 plus feet to their front and to his left. That's where that platform is, Greg. That's exactly where it is. I've gotten video of this, and you need to go look at that video because I don't even know why you're relying on. I don't. But you know what? Me and Greeno had that discussion ever ago. How do you know that? Did you have somebody film the entire area, Greg? Did you? The entire area? Did you? Huh? I mean, hey, this don't have to be a lot, man. We can just sit here and argue if you like. I got all time. Oh, yeah. I'm wearing my freedom shirt. I'm about freedom, people. Freedom. So is there anything else, people? See, you say Ives confirmed. I mean, what? You have like Ives on your like little checklist where Ives goes, yep, that's actually, that's confirmed by law enforcement. We confirmed that, Greg. I don't think you do, buddy. I don't. Why do I think the police need a confession? Look, if they file murder charges on my suspect, they come out with the press conference. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. Well, what's the press going to say? Well, what did he say? Well, how do you know? Well, that's why you want to talk to the guy, because you want to hear what they got to say about it. You want to confront them with what you have, let them confess, bam, then nail them. Okay, you know what? If you confess, man, I mean, they're looking at death, but maybe we could get your life without parole. I mean, if you're going to confess, that's the way they do it. That's exactly the way they do it. Okay. Great. Outstanding, Greg. Did I get the most? So, is there anything else that anybody else wants to ask? Because I'm here, I'm live, and I've been on for 1 hour. 1 hour. No problem, Mystery Maker. Thanks for asking. And yeah, you know what, Birdman? I don't know where you heard that. It was probably from somebody drunk that lived local to you. Yes, it's already solved. Yes, me and Stu are betting. Yes, they will update on what they know. What if it isn't? Eyewitnesses, the new sketch. The press release was kind of BS, in my opinion. Yeah, there's a lot of, oh, I heard. I know I get that all the time. People can't wait to get a hold of me. So they go, well, I heard it. And I'm like, yeah, that's because you're on Facebook. Don't go there for anything. Yeah, they were. They were trapped. I mean, that's the point. The guy went over there because they were boxed in. They didn't have any place to go. You know, I mean, they came from the north, crossing that bridge to the south. Once you get to that south side, where are you going? Off the south side. That's how it was played. That's how it was planned. That's what he capsulated upon. Yeah. Well, a comment on YouTube. Well, it could be a comment on YouTube, but generally speaking, it's Facebook. I get everybody coming to me, and I know it's from Facebook because I've heard every Facebook theory. I've heard every theory I've had over the last 2 years. Countless. I mean, I can say countless people reach me with a theory. Not a one of them lasted long. I had a guy, man, to reach me, and he was telling me. I says, look, man, I got to reach you, man. I got some evidence here that you've got to have. So I told him how to reach me. He emailed me. So I got back a hold of him. And he gives me the theory, again, that the bridge guy was wearing a 1972 Elvis World Tour shirt. He knew that because he had a shirt identical to it. The reason that she had her phone on video record is because the guy that was with him, and there was 2 people, he's telling me, was an Elvis impersonator that was singing at the time. I'm like, so it is like police say. Every crazy does reach you, huh? Because you know what? That's not even like the worst of it, man. I had a woman get a hold of me, and it took her 2 hours to find a quiet spot where she could finally talk. And she was out of her mind, man. She was a taxi driver, and she's telling me I knew it was the guy because he said that he knew it wasn't Ron Logan. Now, how can you know it ain't Ron Logan unless you did it? I don't know, man. I don't know how that's possible. Click. Anyway, a lot of people that reach me usually have Facebook theories in mind about asking me about. Now, I can make a whole video just saying don't go to Facebook for anything. Don't go there. If you want to find out anything, man, look over the press conferences. Look at interviews with law enforcement. Look at anything that was said by them. That's what you want to look at. What they talked about during the sketch. Who made the sketch? How many people was there that seen the sketch? Watch the families on the talk shows when they talk about it. Mike Patty said on Dr. Phil, he says, yes, there was a man there that seen him leaving. So we know who that man is. I do. I know exactly who that man is. And I know he's seen him leaving. Not getting in his car leaving, but he was walking out leaving. Because that man was coming in when the suspect was walking out. I think that some people in law enforcement do. I think right now it's very hush in Delphi. You're not going to, they're not going to mention it. Now, I was banned from the second year press conference because Holman knew what I was going to ask. He knew it was in regards to my suspect. And he stopped me at the door and said, you're not coming in. Oh, no, you don't. Then he backed it up with, you said you was going to get the Delphi reward. I said, no, I didn't. I never said that. In fact, the one thing I ever said concerning that reward was nobody would get it because it's the FBI. It's got to be information you give them that leads to an arrest and then being convicted. Nobody's going to get that money, people. I don't know where that money goes, but it's probably to a fellow officer. But it isn't going to be to where you or I. The money I did speak of, and that let me know that Holman watches my videos, is I had spoke probably in a video or two before that second year press conference that it may come down that I could get a piece of the $27,000 reward money that was put up by the citizens of Evansdale. That's what I said. So I know Holman watches my videos, and I know Holman knows what I know. I know Leveson knows what I know, and Kim Riley knows what I know. But what they don't want to know is you. They don't want you to know it because this is very hush until at which time they can nail him for all of those crimes. And right now they are playing the public. Welcome to the public. You'll like being played. Just get used to it. It's how law enforcement works. You know what is there? He was wearing a hat that day, people. Don't know if you knew this or not, but he was wearing a hat that day. Same hat he had on in St. Louis. Identical. No one seen him without a hat on. Why'd they put all that hair up there like that on when he had a hat on? Tell me that. Does that have anything to do with him being 18 to 40? Because it's just not... They don't know his hair. I can tell you that. They don't know what kind of hair he has up here. It was covered. No, they did it. They did it because it was open to the public and I could have asked. You see, they don't want that. They said, we're going to release this, no questions, but we'll give you 2 weeks, media. Yeah, we'll give you 2 weeks, media. Yeah, so it'll only be media, and they're going to ask the stuff. And first question will be by Rafael Sanchez. He always gets that first question. And he'll ask something really lame and pointless, and they'll be on the news. And people will go, huh, Rafael Sanchez, he's such a great investigative reporter. I bet he gets all of it. I bet he's nailing him right now. That's what people will say. Yeah, exactly, JW. Yeah, right. Exactly. And this is what I tell people. Say 18 to 40, he's 53. It's not even a good guess. If I had seen my suspect, I would have thought early mid-40s just by his face. I wouldn't have thought he was like my age. You know, I thought his face looked a little bit more without wrinkle, you know. Well, what are they going to bombard him with? The media. I mean, what? The family didn't release anything. It was law enforcement. The only time the media would be bombarded is when the suspect is named. That's when the family would get a lot of questions from people. But you know what? I want to point something out. And I do want to make this quite evident. In this, never once. Oh, hey. Can people hear me okay? Man, my mic's like 12 feet to my front right and facing away from me. I reached down here to talking to the mic and it was gone. Holy crap. Well, now I forgot what I was going to say. Okay. Well, I could have grabbed here. Let me grab the mic just to finish out on. I know, but I don't like bad audio. Bad audio is bad. Good audio, though. That's what the people want. Well, people want good audio, and that's what I'm here to give. Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she something? Whoa. All right. Is this better, everybody? Now I sound good, huh? Maybe I sound just as bad, but louder.